director under Steve Moffitt when he was director under the Holden administration. And so it's a pleasure to be back. But I have been asked the question, what made you decide to come back to state government and to DNR? And far and away for me, the number one reason was the staff. I am passionate about my passionate staff, and they are, in my mind, public servants extraordinaire, do very difficult jobs in challenging times, and I'm so proud of them. In fact, if you are a DNR employee, would you please raise your hand? All right. Well, thank you for, I know that's right. We're going to hear a lot from them today, and if you don't, I'm sure a lot of you know them and know them well, but if you see a DNR employee that you don't know, please make sure that you introduce yourself. We've got some great human resources at that agency. But another reason that I decided to come back is because I'm also passionate about this state. I am a Missouri girl, and I'm not ashamed. I'm very proud of the state and of its outdoor legacy. And I am reminded that it was, back in the 1930s, it was the business community. They were key businessmen in the St. Louis, Columbia, and other areas that came together more than 75 years ago to say that they wanted to change in fish and wildlife resources and how we managed for our wildlife and fishery resources. And those discussions, led by the business industry, led eventually to the Conservation Federation of Missouri, the Department of Conservation, and years later to the Design for Conservation, the dedicated sales tax going to conservation, and then of course in 1974, the founding of the Department of Natural Resources, in 1984, the Parks and Soil Sales Tax. So this state, the only state in the nation that in which twice citizens have chosen to vote for dedicated sales tax, and of course Parks and Soil now approved 4 different times. We have a committed citizenry, general citizenry, but we also have a committed business community, and they are a critical part of this environmental legacy of ours. So I'm very proud to be back with this agency and serving in the role that government serves. And when we look at, again, going back to this legacy, it has taken citizen initiatives, it has taken non-for-profit groups, it has taken business and industry, it has taken many sectors, including government, to achieve what we've been able to achieve with air quality, water quality, and other things. But we're not done yet. And so I want to just mention a few things that our agency is involved in. I have a feeling on some of our panels you're going to hear more about these initiatives. So I hope that you'll attend the panels as you can. But first, I want to say a huge thanks to those in this room who helped us to pass House Bill 89, which was the extension of our water fees. And among the many stakeholders involved in that effort was the Chamber. We are very grateful for the efforts of the stakeholders in this room, Rich and others, who assisted us in getting those water fees extended. Those fees were critical for our agency. They provided about 1/3 of the funding for our water program. And indeed, there was great concern that if those fees were not extended this year, that we would be returning those functions to the Environmental Protection Agency. It's not what the regulated community wanted, it's not what we wanted, and we worked together very well this session, and we are so appreciative of those efforts. Perhaps not achieving the same amount of focus, but certainly just as important was the extension of our hazardous waste fee and our battery fee. And those fees support about $2 million annually of our hazardous waste program functions. We are very grateful, Senate Bill 135, Senator Schaefer's bill, very grateful for the efforts and passage of those fees as well. Now, one of the provisions in House Bill 89 was for there to be a review of the water fee structure involving stakeholders, and a report then due back to the General Assembly the end of December 2012. And so it's going to take some very substantive conversations going forward and analyzing that water fee structure. It must be very stakeholder intensive. We do have a water stakeholder forum that I think many of you have attended those meetings. That will likely be the primary format to have those discussions, but we will ensure that for those that want to participate in that discussion, that you're very welcome to do so. So be looking out for more information on that.